Oh my God, I'm live. Hey, I decided to do this live video. Actually, I'm kind of nervous. That's my dog. um, I did some friend erotic fiction in 2016, and it was like around a really hard time in our lives where my mom had died, like not too long after my husband's mom had died, and then we lost an aunt that was really special to us. So I don't know. I just needed something to kind of get my creative juices flowing, and I was inspired by Bob's Burgers and Tina, who's really into erotic friend fiction. So that's how it started, and I I wrote this story about Charles, my husband, and cottage cheese, and it kind of started something where people gave me names, and I would write these little flash fiction pieces that were about. It took me 5 minutes. So anyway, I'm gonna. Funeral. Oh, I wrote one before my aunt's funeral. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and read some of these, not all of them, and either like them or not, and yeah, that's it. So look at this magic. Uh, Aristotle and Tony Tapatio. Ninja turtles are so sexual, said Aristotle, to nobody in particular. He sipped from the straw in his PBR slowly and sensually, thinking of what those turtles actually did in the sewer with their master Splinter. His friend Tony, overhearing his myopic friend's musing, beeline to the jukebox and picked the first Queen song he saw, which was Fat Bottom Girls. In went the quarters, and blown was Aristotle's mind. As Tapatio gyrated furiously to the vocals of Freddie Mercury, their eyes met. The scene fades. I don't know, I thought it was funny. Anyway, the one that started it all. Charles and a tub of cottage cheese.
Oh boy.
Slowly, Charles took the lid off the cottage cheese. He ripped off the plastic and put his spoon into the goo. You are going into my mouth, he said to the container of dairy goodness. Nay, dairy sex. For Charles felt that way about the white curds, and nobody was going to make him feel different. He swirled the gooey chunks slowly in his mouth, licking the milky juice from his lips, and then swallowed. The scene fades. I don't know. If you can make yourself laugh, that's all that's important, really. This one is like a fiction, friend fiction. It was requested by someone who's really into Harry Potter erotica. So I'll keep her name secret. Harry Potter. Your wand is competent enough, said Severus Snape, looking down his nose at the young, but not too young, student Harry Potter. But have you seen this wand? Snape ejaculated as he pointed to the huge magic rod sticking out of the pocket. Now, ejaculated means talking. If it's not just one thing. I'm just telling you. But have you seen this wand? Snape ejaculated as he pointed to the huge magic rod sticking out of his pocket. Harry smiled slowly as he sighed. I solemnly swear I am up to no good. The young, but not too young, Harry Potter reached out a finger to touch it. The scene fades. All right, this is another not friend, still fiction, but it's political. So it was requested as well. I seriously didn't come up with these combinations. Everyone else did. Trump and Hillary. 50 Shades of Trump. Donald, Hillary says inquiringly. He looked up abruptly, hair askew, and unwinding, salt from tears dry upon his face. Hillary, I don't understand. Why don't they love me? I mean, why doesn't everyone hugely love me? She sauntered closer to him, like a cat with a twitchy tail. Well, Donald, if you don't understand what you have done, I think it is my duty to make you understand. On your knees. The riding crop appeared as if by magic in her hand that stroked the leather tip down the side of his streaky face. You have been a bad, hugely bad boy, and you need to be punished. Hillary unbuttoned her stiff jacket, revealing the top of a black latex ensemble, and pulled out what looked like the bit from a horse. Put this in your mouth, Mr. President-elect. You need to listen, you need to learn, and you may just like it. Doing what he was told, he whimpered, shook, and listened. Hillary's mouth stretched in a gleeful grin across her face, her shoulders doing a little giddy dance as she began her work. The scene fades. Chuck Mung and Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know who requested this one, but Chuck never remembered a time when that face wasn't in his mind on the infinite occasions he experienced the little death. He looked up at the signage emblazoned with that very visage from his fantasies as he stood outside of the home of the ultimate crush. The sign, Chuck E. Cheese's, wasn't lit up yet, indicating that he could come in. Chuck so badly wanted to. He looked at his watch. Just 5 minutes. The anticipation made him itch in inappropriate places.
Anticipation that made him itch.
Shush. Unfortunately banned from the other 2 locations, this was most likely going to be his last opportunity to see what was really in those pants. Chuck had to know 3 minutes. The sign lit up, and so did Chuck. He had never been more ready when he heard the door click as it was unlocked by a pimply youth. Get out of my way, kid, he mumbled as he shoved an 8-year-old and his mother out of the way. I have a date with destiny. The gasps of horror could be heard over the arcade noise. The scene fades. All right. My friend Ernie and his barbecue. He's really into barbecue. So one could say that Ernie liked barbecue a lot. Everyone that put Ernie's meat in their mouth could completely understand why, but no one loved putting sauce-covered meat in their boca more than Ernie, and that was a fact. He was a chronic masticator who had to wear a night guard when he slept after a long day of beating and gnashing flesh. Ernie blamed the secret sauce for his hard and heavy chewing urges. What is the secret, you ask? That I cannot tell you. The scene fades. You like my magic glasses and hat? It's pretty cool. Okay. Got some girls now. Cinderella and Sonic Bitch.
Ooh.
Cinderella, a cyborg, virtual rock star, was the brainchild and invention of the young, up-and-coming, retro-flavored cyberpunk with the handle of Sonic Bitch. This young genius was lonely and longed for a sexy companion to have pillow fights with. It so happened that Ms. Bitch was an up-and-comer in the field of cybernetics and a huge fan of horror movies and rock. One day, while watching The Bride of Frankenstein and a multitude of winger videos, she had an idea, and that idea became Cinderella. After she had an idea, and that idea became, After being turned on several times as she needed to be rebooted, her creation opened her eyes, moistening her plump, virginal lips with her tongue. and held out arms beseechingly to Sonic Bitch, who handed her a pillow. Feathers floated in the air like snowflakes as the scene fades. I know. Hi, Charles. Yeah, Jessica can hear you. All right. My friends, Airhab and Thunderball. The water was smooth, for now. Captain Airhab checked his nautical map, consulted the heavens, and took a swig out of a whiskey bottle. The seas had been rough, and it was nice to take a breather. "Cabin boy!" the captain hollered, calling for one crew member that he could afford. Thunderball was what he was called: maid, deck swabber, cook, bed warmer. Airhab could not deny the loneliness any longer on his vessel. The air she blows. When he hired the beautiful man boy, he hoped it would be this way, and it was. "Swab me, deck matey," the captain said with a twinkle in his eye as he gently placed his hand on the head of Thunderball, who smiled slowly and seductively, with mutual understanding, if you get my drift. The boat swayed, yet the ocean was still calm, and as the sun went down, the scene fades. All right, I'm going to another one about a woman friend of mine, Lisa, and her Google Docs. Hold on, I have to really set the scene. She felt like a cat, an incredibly wet pussy cat. Immersed to her neck in the clawfoot tub, Lisa's eyes rested languidly on the computer monitor, which sat atop the shelf that spanned across the width of the porcelain heaven. This was her favorite part: the anticipation of making categories, subcategories, sub-subcategories, formulas. Her breath quickened to catch up with the racing of her beating heart. She reached out with one hand towards the water-resistant keyboard as the other paw grabbed a towel to dab the sweat that had appeared on her lip. Google Docs lit up the screen, and her fierce arousal could not be denied. She must start before she could finish. Chest heaving, she opened a new spreadsheet. "Someone wants my favorite cookie recipe. They're going to get everyone's favorite cookie recipe in the world." Biting her lip, she began typing as the scene fades. All right, this is my last one. So it's not going to be a full hour, but Power Hour sounded better, and I stole it actually from Charles because he has a Power Hour thing that he's doing way before me. But anyway, this is called Ariachi and Lisa Disa. Through the mists he came. Nobody knew his name, but what they did know was that he was dangerous. An old gold rush town in the rush. They determined there was no gold, so what was left was nothing much. A bar, a school, a wood mill, a post office, and a church. The outlying area had a few small farms, a couple chickens, at least one horse, and the random goat. To say this was a small town would be an exaggeration. Preacher Disa had a prized, virginal, yet adult daughter by the name of Lisa, and Lisa was bored. I just lost my place. When word of the stranger reached her ears, they pricked her imagination. Could this be the one, or the one for right now? She had to meet this mystery man. Lisa cinched, powdered, and coiffed all the areas in her body that needed such attention and set out to meet her fate, she hoped. Lisa wondered at what he looked like, how he walked, what their children would look like, how he would touch her, and where. She blushed as she was getting ahead of herself, her lips moist and her breasts heaving. She brazenly walked into the bar where surely a dangerous stranger would be, but alas, there was no stranger. She swore she heard a whisper in the wind. El Mariachi. Her loins sighed, but alas, he was nowhere to be found, nor would he be. Sorry, I'm sweating. Her loins sighed, but alas, he was nowhere to be found, nor would he be, for he was only a figment of a bored town's imagination. Lisa trudged back home as the scene fades.
Ooh.
I
Literary.
look, lady. Someone said not a full hour. I want my money back. This is so free. Anyway, that's all I got. I'll put it on. I'll save it. You can watch it if you want it or not. But this is fun. Thanks for inspiring me, and maybe I will. God, it looks like my nose is running. It's disgusting. I'm sorry. I'm sweating. I love you guys, and yeah, inspire me, and maybe I'll write some more.